Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today I'm at Yoakum Toyota here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and this is the 2022 RAV4 Prime XSE. Of course, this is a hybrid. This is a plug-in hybrid, as you can see right here. We'll take a look at exactly what this vehicle has, but there's also a lot of things that are new for 2022. Let me tell you exactly what those features and changes are. The limited trim gets an 8-way power passenger seat with height adjustability. Trims from the XLE and up receive an updated headlight designed the XLE Limited, Adventure, and TRD Off-Road get new fog lights. All right, guys, let's take a quick look to start off things with the remote. You can see what all is there. Everything's very easy to use, very easy to figure out, but a nice looking and very user-friendly remote from Toyota. You can see that the RAV4 does have a very sporty looking front end. You're gonna have the LED projector beam headlights, a very nice looking upper and lower grille. And of course, as we take a look at that, we'll find Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, the driving aid safety suite from Toyota that's going to help keep driver and passenger safe while driving out on the road. Tire size is going to be 235/55 wrapped around 19-inch 5-spoke wheels. Again, a very nice looking wheel. And the contrast here, I think, is good between the black that you have outlining everything and the rest of the wheel. It just seems to fit perfectly. You do have turn signal indicators built into these side view mirrors. Now, they aren't power folding side view mirrors. You can manually fold that, but they are power adjustable and they are also heated. So gonna have a lot of advantages there. And of course, something I wanna make sure I point out here, you do have available all-wheel drive, of course, as you can see right there. And of course, this is a plug-in hybrid. Let's take a little bit closer look at where everything goes as far as the hybrid system goes. There's where you're going to plug the cable in. You do have the charging cable that of course comes with the vehicle. We'll take a look at that shortly when we open the rear door. And of course, the heart and soul of any hybrid combination, the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, in this case, of course, paired with the electric motor. Combined together, putting out 302 horsepower. It is mated to a continuously variable transmission, which is not unusual with these hybrid powertrains. With that 302 combined horsepower, what are the MPGs like? We're looking at 38 miles per gallon with gas only. The gas and electric knocks that number all the way up to 94 miles per gallon, which is a pretty impressive number for any vehicle, especially an SUV the size of the RAV4. When properly equipped, the RAV4 tows on the bottom end 1,500. On the top end, the higher range is going to be 3,500 pounds. And of course, you do have the power rear lift gate, so we're just going to hit the button right here and open that up. Now, one thing that you will like here that I know a lot of people don't like, you will not find a tire repair kit. You will find a spare tire located underneath the floor right here. And of course, there's that charging cable I mentioned earlier. I showed you where that plugs in. What about cargo capacity? Well, it's going to range between 37.5 all the way up to a maximized, which you will do by lowering these seats. We'll do that, of course, on both sides. We'll just do the one side for now. You can use your imagination on the other side, all the way up to 69.8 cubic feet. So quite a bit of space. And of course, you do have the cargo cover right here, which is removable, by the way. That doesn't just stay in place permanently. So if you want to cover something right here, obviously you can. You can leave that out of the way or take it completely out depending on what you might be transporting back here. And of course, you're going to have what Toyota calls the panoramic moonroof. Some people for some reason don't like that terminology, but that's what Toyota calls it. You can call it a sunroof if you want to. You have a little bit of a door bin right here. You could put a pretty large water bottle in there if you wanted to, or a shaker full of protein powder for you bodybuilders out there, such as myself. We enjoy our protein powder. Map pockets on both seats, and then a fold-down armrest, of course. You can have some cup holders right there. Comfortable seating, and I really like the design. of what Toyota has done here. Having that contrast with the red stripe through here really makes a difference. I tell you what, that's just the kind of stuff that I know I notice. I don't know about you, but I like that. Then of course, you're gonna have the dual air conditioning vents here and your connectivity as well with USB ports. Okay, taking a look into the front seat, you're gonna see here on the passenger side door, a little bit larger door bin, so that's gonna help. There is storage throughout, of course. Power seats for the driver and passenger, as you can see right here, and the RAV4 floor mats. Also, of course, you're gonna have a little bit of storage space right up here. Put the phone up there or whatever will fit. And the conventional size glove box, actually pretty large, quite a bit of space in there without all of the manuals and everything. But obviously we'll leave that in there. And just taking a quick look again at the seat backs here, just to show what it looks like. Gonna have the stripe right here. And here on the driver's side door, of course, you're going to find seat memory settings, 2 settings for the driver. If you have more than one driver, that's always helpful. You can adjust the position of those power heated side view mirrors, and of course, quite a few different features here that you can turn off or back on depending on what you want to do, including the heated steering wheel right there. Of course, you can open that power rear lift gate. Everything pretty easy to figure out, except for some of you Louisiana drivers, and maybe all over the country. What is that? It's a standard option on these RAV4s. It's the turn signal lever. That's how you let people around you know what you're doing. And of course, push button start probably goes without saying, but I'll show you what the instrument cluster looks like as it comes to life. A very nice looking instrument cluster, good information there. Not too much, but what you need to see. And of course, those steering wheel mounted controls. Again, everything is pretty simple to figure out, as you would imagine. Now, let me push this, see if we can get that off the screen. The questions that I'm often asked, does it have built-in navigation? Well, you can see right here that obviously the infotainment system here within the RAV4 does have built-in navigation. And we'll just look through some of the apps here that you have as far as what you can do. Audio, you've got destination right there if you want to use that, phone. And of course, something that I thought was really interesting that happened in 2021 with the Honda Ridgeline, Honda's truck that many people like to say is not really a truck. They brought back the knob for the radio, controlling the volume and turning it on and off. That has never gone away right here. And of course, you're gonna have the other one right here. Pretty simple to figure out. Dual zone climate control, of course. Of course, you can see everything that's here with ventilated seats and wireless charging right here. And for those of you who are not fans of push button shifters, well, obviously it goes without saying that obviously that's not here. And let's take a quick look at what's available as far as the cameras go. You do have a multi-view camera here on the RAV4. I'll give you a quick look at everything. And of course, as you really already saw there, you do have the very useful overhead 360-degree view. That's always useful to be able to use, giving you that live look. And hopefully it's dark enough to be able to see this, so hopefully you can see the color change. But depending on what driving mode you are in, right now we're in normal. If you go to Eco, you're going to notice, of course, that's going to turn green. If you go into Sport mode, it's going to turn red. And of course, everything pretty simple to figure out here as far as what's here. Of course, you're going to have your wireless charging pad right there. And just a quick look here at the cup holders, and I will open the lid on this center console. Let's get that out of there. One of the goodies that comes with the vehicle, of course. For those who want to have the paint renewer cleaner, you've got that. And you've got not only some space here, but also some additional connectivity. Quite a few USB ports throughout the interior. Okay, as we get out here on our test drive, there are a couple of things I want to make sure I mention. I don't know how good of a job I can do of showing you the heads-up display, but there is a very nice heads-up display on this trim level. Easy to use, easy to read, nice and bright. It's just kind of hard to show on a sunny day when it comes to taking a photo. Well, there's a winning driver right there. I don't know if you saw that. That driver in that Ram right there, I guess, was just in too big of a rush to wear himself out and reach over and use the blinker. Thankfully, I wasn't next to him when he did that. Anyway, before I was distracted by a wonderful driver. You got the heads-up display. And another very important question that I didn't address earlier, I wanted to save it for the test drive. for those of you who are wondering, how far can you drive in EV mode on a full charge? According to Toyota, 42 miles is what that number is. So here's where you come in. What have your experiences been with your RAV4? If you own a model like this, how far have you found yourself being able to drive? Has it been 42 miles, less, more? Tell me exactly what that is down in the comments section, because I'm very curious to know. And of course, that's not an issue because of the fact that, of course, it's a hybrid. So you have the gas engine available anytime you don't have the efficient charge to run in EV mode. The ride quality, I found it to be pretty good. And yeah, I say this in a lot of my videos. Sometimes you just need to get out and drive the vehicle for yourself, because what I tell you might be different than the experience that you personally have. It really depends on what you drive on a daily basis. For me, I think the RAV4 rides just fine. For someone else, they might say the opposite of that. It just depends on their personal experience and what they're used to. So, you know, some people might say that it's underpowered, that this RAV4 is underpowered. Well, it depends on your needs and desires is what that really boils down to. For some people, it's going to be perfect. For some people, maybe it's not enough. Obviously, you likely wouldn't own a model like this if that's the case. But overall, I have to give high marks here. And one thing that I do like here is the size of the infotainment screen that Toyota has here. And the fact that it's not too low. Sometimes that might not be something you notice until you get in a vehicle that has a higher infotainment screen. And the reason I say that is because if you have to look at it as the driver, it's tall enough to where you're still able to easily keep your eyes on the road. I may not be easily able to say that without stuttering and getting kind of tongue twisted there, but that does make a difference. Just those little things that you don't necessarily think about when you're out driving around. Overall, this RAV4 does a really good job, at least based on what kind of time I've spent with it today, which hasn't been a whole lot, but I like the driving position. The steering wheel is comfortable. The steering is good and responsive. The brake pedal is easily manageable. And for a lot of people, you might not think about that until you get into a vehicle that either has a real mushy brake pedal or maybe one that is overly aggressive. So the balance here is really good. At least that's, again, my personal opinion. So tell me down in the comments if you plan to buy a 2022 RAV4, or maybe you already own a RAV4. Tell me what trim level you own or plan to own, what exterior color, all that good stuff. I'm always curious to know about what everybody plans to do. I gotta say a special thanks to my friends here at Yoakum Toyota for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to take the time to watch and give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that is on the screen right now, and I will see you there.